Well, what a day there in the stock market. It's been a fantastic day in the stock market. Indexes are skyrocketing, individual stocks are skyrocketing, and if you ever wanted to have the definition of what risk on is, today is that day. The market has gone risk on, and we're going to look at why that is happening, and as well as that, we're going to look at some individual stocks as well. Now, as well as that, I just want to say, for any of you guys that have stuck through the 2022, 2023, that was a really tough time in the stock market. You had to put up through a lot of crap in that time frame. So if you've stuck it out there through that time frame, this is one of those days that I just want you to sit back and just, appreciate it a little bit, because sometimes you just take it for granted. It's kind of like, like a bit of a sigh of relief, but one of these days that, really, you see your gains go up, you see all these stocks go up that you might be buying the dips on for a really long time. Appreciate one of these moments, because you don't know when we might have the next bear market. You don't know when the next green great day will be. If you've been buying those dips, you deserve to see the returns. And today's one of those days where you probably will see your account doing really well. Personally, for me, my account's doing really well after today. So, if you've been buying those dips when it's been really ugly, appreciate today. Have a little bit of a reward. Look at some stocks that go, that was really good. That. So, if you could hit the like button if you're new around here, or if you've been here all the time, especially through the 2022 time frame, give that like button a little bit of a smash so it shows me that you like the video, and as well as that, it helps it out in the YouTube algorithm. But let's get started on today's video. So as you can see here, and I can't believe what I'm just reading here, it says breaking news: Airbnb acquires AI startup. Airbnb going into AI space? I don't know, unless it's something to help them with the business. That's a bit of a strange headline. But anyway, getting on to today, you can see here the Dow Jones was up 1.5%, the S&P was up 1.8%, the Nasdaq was up 2%, and this is where it gets a little bit crazy. The Russell up nearly 5%. That is definition of risk on. That's people saying they think the economy is looking good in the next couple of months. If people are buying in there, a lot of risk on there. The VIX as well, down 4% as well. Now, obviously, if you look at the individual stocks, Hims and Hers up 5%. Seems like this has really kicked on since that earnings report. It's been up around about 26% since then. So maybe, I don't know if the earnings just kind of kicked it back into life a little bit, but that's good to see. That's about time that happened. Even PayPal's up 5% today. Mercado Libre, I don't really talk about this company, even though it's probably like my 6th biggest position in the stock market, maybe even my 5th. Hardly talk about it, but honestly, what a year this company's had financially. Absolutely amazing. And from a share price point of view as well, up 72% year to date as well. It's been a very good year for Mercado Libre as well, which I probably should point out a little bit more. It's been one of my best performers as well this year. InMode up 6% today. Even InMode, the one that's been devastated in the last couple of months, having a little few buyers coming into this one today. And the Russell, I can't believe the Russell is up 5% today. And really, since those lows in October time, from that time frame, the Russell's actually up nearly 10% today. And it's a little bit frustrating actually, because on the Patreon, I was actually talking about the Russell a little bit earlier, and for you guys on the Patreon, I'm actually going to drop my UK portfolio tonight. So if you want to see how my UK portfolio is doing, obviously you guys on the Patreon can check it out, and if you do want to see it, join the Patreon, £5 a month, get 2 exclusive videos a week on there. And I also put this post on, and I've blanked it out a little bit because I actually sold the company today, and obviously you have to be on the Patreon to know that sort of information. Eventually I'll say it on the YouTube channel, but I did sell a stock today. So I sold the stock today, and I actually said here that I was thinking of adding the Russell 2000 into my portfolio. And for me, obviously I'm an individual stock picker. It's not like me to buy an index, but with the Russell 2000, I was like, it just looks such attractive levels to me right now, and it's not normally something I would buy, but it just looks so attractive. And wouldn't you know it, I start thinking about buying the Russell, and then boom, up 5% today, and obviously had a bit of a rally off the low. So we'll see what happens. You never know. Give it a bit more of a negative sentiment in a week's time. Maybe it has a bit of a drop, but a little bit frustrating there to see that. Now, why is the stock market rallying? Well, it all comes off the inflation data. Obviously, this was the key event for Tuesday, and the inflation data came in really positive. If you look at the inflation data, we were expecting 3.3, and we actually came in at 3.2. So that's to see the inflation rate moving back into a good direction. Obviously, we're moving back towards the 2% range. Obviously, for me, I said we'll hit 3% this year. The big thing for me is we're going to hit 2%, and it looks like it could happen. It could happen this year. We might hit the 2% rate. We'll see what happens when we get the next data in the next month. And on a core basis that the Fed tends to use a little bit more, we went from a 4.1 to a 4%. We were supposed to stay flat, but we carried on moving down, which was obviously really good from that point of view. Obviously, the market thinking, obviously, inflation still coming down, even when forecasts were for it to go a little bit flatter this month. Obviously, that's really positive, and everyone's kind of thinking, well, inflation keeps coming down. That's that issue solved that kind of overhung 2023. That should be good in 2024. And obviously, people looking at the Fed going, well, if the inflation keeps coming down like this, the Fed aren't going to increase interest rates, and they might be done. And then if there's no more interest rate increases in 2024, the market is set up for a good time. You know, the economy's been holding up okay. So if inflation and the Fed stop hiking and the economy holds up okay, could be a good year in 2024. And that's why you saw all the money today pile on the risk on stocks, because everyone thought, okay, we'll go a little bit more risk on now with all them issues kind of resolved here. Didn't point it out, but I should point it out. The UK inflation data is actually coming out tomorrow. So this is out at 7 a.m. The consensus is to go from 6.7 to 4.8. Now that's a big drop, but the thing with the inflation data in the UK, it can sometimes be a bit all over the place compared to the US. So don't be too surprised if it's not actually 4.8. It could be a few up or a few down here. So we'll see what happens there. But I've got to say, I don't think UK, I don't know about you guys, but me going out there, it doesn't feel like 4.8 to me out there. It still feels a little bit higher than that, but hey, that's a subject for another day. Revolution Beauty. So Revolution Beauty actually brought interim results out today. You can see here the stock basically did nothing. In fact, it was down 3% today. And if you actually look at the headlines, as you see here, Revolution Beauty posts revenue growth, upgrades financial outlook. So you're thinking, well, good growth, financial outlook upgraded. You'd think a stock would be up today, but you know, they brought solid numbers out, but why is the stock actually down today? Well, the reason why, and my big concern as well, which I think I mentioned it on another video actually, if it wasn't on another video, it was on the Patreon, but my big concern is if you look at last week, the sudden rally started happening through Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday, and it already went up 30%. So clearly, the market priced in a 30% gain, the market had already basically priced in good earnings. Now, obviously, my concern with this is that actually it wasn't pricing it in because it was guessing. It actually priced it in because it knew it. And believe it or not, unfortunately, sometimes this does go on the market. Sometimes the market gets information that us retail investors don't get until a later date. And it can be a bit frustrating, and it should not be allowed, but it does go on in the market. And it does seem like the market got wind that Revolution Beauty were about to post good numbers, and people bought in before the earnings. And it's not the first time this has happened with this stock. If you remember, obviously before I owned Revolution Beauty, obviously I became a shareholder in 2022, and even though I am up on this position over 70%. During this time frame, I was just watching it, and you can see the stock market just sent it lower and lower and lower. And I don't think it was because of the market sentiment at the time. I think a little bit of this is that especially this time frame here, I think the market got wind that they were having some account issues at the time and sold it off before we all knew about it. So I think this is the second time this has actually happened with this stock. But yeah, that's what's going on with Revolution Beauty. DraftKings had a strange day. It opened up, went down, went back up again. Having a decent day though. It's pretty much at 52-week highs at the moment. In fact, I think today is its 52-week. Yeah, it did make a 52-week high today, which is obviously really good to see. DraftKings up 229% today. They have brought out their investor day. That has happened. Personally for me, I was at work, so I've not listened to it. I did have a quick flick through the investor day slides. Looked pretty good information. I'd love to hear the commentary around it at the same time. So when this company does post a recording of the investor day, I'll give it a listen. I'll go through the investor day, and I'll maybe break down a video for you guys of DraftKings investor day if you want to see it. But looks like some good information in there. Not surprised to see not too much of a reaction on it, because obviously, you know, we're already sitting at 52 guys. It would be, in my opinion, it'd be quite nice for DraftKings, I think, for the rest of the year, just have a bit of a chilling out phase now. It's had a good year, have a bit of a chill out phase, and we let the valuation just catch up a little bit, and then move on to new all-time highs in 2024 as we ramp up the profitability. So yeah, kind of all makes sense what's going on with DraftKings today after the investor day, what's going on there. Last one, Cakebox. So most of you guys know I'm a Cakebox shareholder. Stock is up 4.5% today. And pretty good results from these guys. 13 times earnings, which is still pretty attractive. Obviously, before today, actually, the dividend yield was above 6%. It's now currently 5%. But actually, if you actually put in the new increased dividend yield, it'd probably actually take you over 6%, actually. So it's probably worth checking that out. But Cakebox came out with some results, and their results were really good. Basically, you look at the headline here: increase in revenues, profits, dividends, and cash. Like, if you wanted to sum up what you'd want to see on a interim results at the top of the statement, that's what you want to see. And yeah, if you look at the numbers, they were fantastic. Revenue growth of 6.8%. I mean, when I bought this company, I always kind of thought this company were going to grow 4 or 5%. And you're considering that it's growing faster than that, and it's in a time frame that you'd say that the consumer is being a bit conscious about, this kind of spending cut down that's gone on at the moment, and you think the consumer's been a little bit more sensitive with their money, and they're still putting up these numbers. Imagine what it's going to be like when we have a consumer that's not worrying about what they're spending. So yeah, I thought that was good growth. This is where it gets more impressive, and this is the thing as well. You want to see the company ramp up profitability more than revenue, and that's what happened. Gross profit up 11%, pre-tax profit up 18%, net cash up 41%, earnings per share up 19%, interim dividend up 10%. Look at the gross margins. The gross margins went from 47% to 49%. Really good improvements in the gross margins. If you look at the new website, they launched a new website in June 2023, and I can tell you this website is so much better than the old website. It's a really, really good improvement, so I'm sure that is really helping as well. Really, really solid numbers from Cakebox, and you look at this going, so I can basically get this company at 13 times earnings, which I think is too low. And then you're picking up a company that is, for me, you're obviously picking up a 6% dividend yield. You're talking, you can collect that dividend yield, and you don't really need to have too much share price appreciation in this one alone. So, I mean, for a company at 30 times earnings, putting in these numbers, growing their profitability, increasing the dividend, how they are doing, and you're picking up a 6% dividend yield with this one as well. It's all good from Cakebox. I was really impressed with the numbers from Cakebox overall. So yeah, all good going on there as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video anyway, guys. Like I said, I'll try, if you want to see it, I'll probably try to do a DraftKings video maybe a little bit later on about the investor day. But hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed the rally that's going on out there in the stock market at the moment. If you could hit the like button if you're new and found this video helpful, subscribe, and I'll see you in a bit, guys.